Hi everyone, welcome back here to our channel. So today, as promised, we will have a look at the number one thing for landlords and tenants to know when selling the rental property. I just want to say, guys, when we talk about landlords today, we obviously also include the ladies. So when I refer to landlords, I mean both landlords and landladies. Now, the number one thing for landlords and tenants to know when it comes to selling the rental property is something called hier gaat voor koop. Now, hier gaat voor koop is an old Roman Dutch law principle that still forms part of South African common law today. And loosely translated into English, it means that an existing lease will trump a subsequent sale of the rental property. Vir die Afrikaanse kykers, hier gaat voor koop Romeins-Hollands is eintlik maar baie dieselfde in die Afrikaans en losweg vertaal sal dit iets wees soos die bepalings van die huurkontrak geniet voorkeur bo die bepalings van 'n latere koopkontrak van die huureiendom. Now, why is that so important for landlords and tenants to know, guys? Let's have a look at a practical example to illustrate. Let's say we've got a tenant and a landlord that has entered into a lease agreement for a 3-bedroom house for a period of 1 year, 12 months. Now, let's say the tenant has moved in, and let's say 3 months down the line, the landlord gets an offer he simply cannot refuse, and he decides to sell the rental property at a huge profit. Now, what hier gaat voor koop means in those circumstances, or the effect of the hier gaat voor koop principle, is that the lease agreement will not automatically terminate simply by virtue of the fact that the landlord has decided to sell the rental property. And there's at least two elements to this. Firstly, it means that the landlord cannot simply cancel the lease by virtue of the fact that he has decided to sell the rental property. And the second element is that the new owner, when transfer goes through, cannot simply cancel the lease with the tenant by virtue of the fact that he is now the new owner of the rental property. Instead, what the law allows for is for the new owner to effectively step into the shoes of the previous owner and to become the landlord. So all of the material terms of the lease will now bind the new owner as landlord. And that's how the maxim hier gaat voor koop serves to protect the tenant in that situation when there is a sale of the rental property and that has an existing lease in place. Now, I hope that gives you some understanding, guys, of hier gaat voor koop, what it means and how it comes into play in practice. And I hope you can see why it's an important thing. In fact, the number one thing for a landlord and a tenant to be aware of when it comes to the sale of the rental property. I just want to say, as with anything in life, guys, there's exceptions to this rule, and there'll be times when it doesn't apply exactly as we've discussed today. And maybe on another occasion, we can do a video when we talk about all the exceptions to that rule and also ways and means that the parties involved can somehow circumvent the application of the rule. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. I hope it was useful. Thanks so much for watching. Next week, we will stay on the landlord and tenant theme, and we'll share some thoughts about the rental deposit. So please stay tuned for that. Until then, guys, take care. Cheers for now.